Burr. It's cold here in Chicago. How is it over there in North Carolina? South Carolina? Which one is it?
Yeah, what the hell, dude? It's not like we've been
I don't know
working
where you
together
live.
for like 3.5
3
years or
years?
some crazy stuff like that. South Carolina, Greenville,
Okay.
South Carolina.
You're right,
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, now I will say North Carolina is way better than South Carolina. But, yeah, that's where I'm hanging out. It was beautiful today. Yeah, I'm
Okay. Well,
doing
it's
all right.
very cold in Chicago already, so I might have to pick up one of these coats.
Oh, that's
This
awful,
could be me.
man.
I could be this lady on the front.
Okay, so we're talking about puffers, faux furs, Wait, what? How is a holographic a coat? Is this a new thing?
We're gonna
I did
find
not know
out.
this. Okay, so if I was unable to view these images, click here.
Ooh, I hope that's in the preview text because I know that's going to be fun to read.
Click here. Interesting. Little side note: in around like 2000, maybe a little bit before, we learned that we don't need to say "click here." Instead, we can link meaningful words. So we can move on from that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
so that's a little thing that we can learn all together as a team. And Shop Bazaar, cool. I don't think I got this email. This isn't mine. Someone, either we had this submitted or maybe you're shopping for women's coats again.
I think we got this one submitted.
Cool.
I was going to say, I think I have this new thing. It's called navigational blindness, where I don't even see navigation bars because I don't
really?
care about them or
Interesting.
something. And they hide the navigation bar on mobile, so I don't. Maybe they need it on desktop, but I kind of think they don't need to open the email with 400 pixels of their logo and a newsletter thing, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's interesting. At least these are text. Great
true.
freaking job, y'all. I appreciate that. That takes just a little bit of extra care, but it also is probably way easier than images. It's a good work. And all this is text. So one thing here that I will say is I am only 40 years old, and I am so proud of being 40. I have earned it. But man, that text is small. I can hardly read that.
It's probably 12 or something, right? Yeah.
It might even be 11,
14?
man. 14? What?
That's what it says on the. That's what it says on the back end.
Okay. It's too small. Even if it is 14, one of the things is probably on this monitor, like it's extremely small. You need to check in and like think about that and think about what you're doing. So there are other ways of making fashion feel still refined and finessed. And the other thing here too is that the leading, which is line height, is too tight here. One thing to say here is also this spacing above the text.
Yeah, the padding definitely needs some room.
That's right. So adding margin under photos or sections, giving things room to breathe is so important, right? And then also like even under this text and where you have your CTA, if you give your CTA a little bit of room to breathe, it gives it more importance, it helps it stand out a little bit more. Now, that said, there are some things that like they've done nice in this email. Like they're using colors really well. The typography could be sort of sharpened up in terms of the leading, the size, some things like that. But they've done a great job with the brand. And actually, look at that. That's hot. That's real text.
I know, right?
Yeah, nice job. That's pretty cool.
I think one call out though is on that hero image, when you do have live text image, it can become like a little blurry then in some sections. Like that must-have coats looks a little blurry, so maybe they could have that at 2x and it be a little bit more retina optimized.
Yeah, good call. So because it makes it look so different than the live text.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, one thing I like here, just a neat little touch, is they created these background images and then let the imagery pop out around it. Very effective way of creating a difference and letting the background blocks feel like that's what hits the grid, and then these things come outside of it. Nice way of like creating interest. So yeah, I mean, I think they've done a nice job here. Again, super duper small. It's really hard to read that, but there's some things that are working here. How big this would look so good on you, bro.
I'm going for the holographic look, really. That's my...
Oh, damn, Smokey. Look at that. I think this one was in Blade Runner.
Yeah, I think
That's
you're right.
wild. That's insane.
So I'm scrolling down this email now. It's kind of feeling like it's a little too long.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It could feel a little long.
If you're shopping and, looking at different styles, I guess it doesn't feel that long, but...
Look at her face. She thinks it's too long.
Yeah, she's
like, oh my God, I'm so bored. This is not working.
Overall, this one is pretty good. There's just a lot of things to look at, I guess, and to click on. So
now, that said, My guess is that this email is performing reasonably well. It has a lot of white space, which I love. Lots of good breathing room, which I'm pretty impressed with. So I think there's a lot of things to be celebrated about the email. It's pretty awesome when like we can get really picky with things, and we can get picky because it's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I'm seeing it.
To me, why it's a no is the pixelization on the images is kind of weird.
Like on some of the edges.
But overall, yeah, I think maybe if there was just a few less lines of clothing.
Wow, look how long this gets as a mobile. That is a really long email.
I do really like that bottom footer, though.
Ooh, yeah. Nice, like large tappable regions. That's really tight. I like that.
This works so well on mobile, but I wonder if there's like something they can do better on desktop. I've played around with having this mobile view sort of be on desktop on the bottom as well.
Sure.
Maybe that's something they could try. It might look a little strange, but I like this mobile first. It's interesting how they slice these images to really make this kind of one email, so that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to me, I think there's a lot working for this. Interesting challenges. I feel nice and toasty now that we've gone through this. I feel much warmer in my holographic coat.
Is there anything that stands out as like an email sin or something? Or?
The main thing to me is the size of the text. As somebody whose eyes aren't fantastic, man, that makes a huge difference to me. Also, when I have to go and like be really careful with my mouth to try and find these things, that kind of stuff can be, really tough. It is interesting to see how like on mobile they drop the navigation and put it in the bottom entirely. But like, look at that text. This is mobile. That's tiny. Super small, right? I'm not a fan of that, but they did a lot of other things really well. And the reality is that it's possible that their audience doesn't feel the way I do about this. My guess is that some of their audience is my age or older and may even have a harder time with this.
Well, now I know what I'm going to get you for Christmas. So.
Oh, God, please no. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next week.